Thanks for tuning in. You're still watching the World News. 5 workers were killed and 18 others injured after a concrete platform under construction of the Shanghai subway line collapsed on Monday, a municipal government source said on Tuesday. The accident occurred at around 21-hour Monday in a building in the Pudong New area for examination and repair, which was part of the Jinqiao parking lot for Shanghai No. 12 subway line. The source said the cause of the incident is under investigation. Thailand tourists are able to trade in recyclable waste for food in an innovative scheme taking off across the country. AFP has the story.
A dirty job reserved for Thailand's poorest. Nom and Rai are scavengers. Each day they comb dustbins in their area looking for recyclable rubbish to sell. The money they make isn't always enough to live on, but an innovative scheme is helping them out.
When we are starving, we can find rubbish to exchange for rice to eat, detergent, soap, and everything.
The husband and wife bring used bottles, cartons, cans and paper to this shop and trade them in for food and other goods. No cash needed. The shop works as a cooperative for local people. By selling to the recycling plants in bulk, it gets a better rate than individual scavengers would manage on their own, and profits from the shop are then paid back in dividends to its members.
Sometimes we would have to buy things like fish sauce or rice on credit at shops, but people look down on us as we're poor, and they wonder whether they would get their money back. So that's why we started up our own shop.
The project's success is inspiring others too. In another part of Bangkok, people recently set up their own cash-free shop to which they take along their household rubbish. About a quarter of Thailand's garbage is currently recycled, but that's largely thanks to scavengers rather than efforts by consumers to separate their waste. It's hoped schemes like this will help people be more environmentally responsible.
Recycling is not an alien word anymore. Everyone is aware that recycling can help the world one way or another. So people are more aware and people want to take more action. But I think what we're lacking of now is the system in place.
The goal is to set up 80 cash-free recycling shops across Thailand by the end of 2013. And there's a lot of international interest too. More and more communities are coming together to help themselves and the environment.
Let's head to Africa. A celebration of the New Year on the Ivory Coast has ended in tragedy. More than 60 people in the Western African country were killed in a stampede and 50 others were hurt.
Thousands of people gathered at a stadium in Abidjan to see a fireworks display. They were leaving when panic struck.
My 2 children, they went yesterday. They said they were going to go last night, and I told them not to. When I went to bed, they went anyway. We haven't seen them since.
Many of the victims were children. Some got lost in the confusion.
It's a national tragedy, of course, and I really hope that we will push ourselves to investigate and see what could have prevented this tragedy so that it will not happen again.
Authorities say they don't know what set off the stampede.
Let's take to Africa. Mobile phone users in Somalia have started off 2013 in style after Somalia's largest mobile service provider, Hormuud Telecom, officially launched the first 3G service for its subscribers. Unveiling the new service, Ahmed Mohammed Yusuf, CEO of Hormuud, assured subscribers of new peak data rates different from the slow data transfer speeds that was initially available. The 3G service is considered the standard used for mobile devices and mobile telecommunication services, together with networks that comply with the International Mobile Telecommunications Specifications. Somalia's telecommunication industry has ironically thrived amid the 2-decade civil strife. The country has 4 major mobile service providers, with Hormuud having an estimated 1.7 million subscribers. India is the world's second largest buyer of gold, and its love for the matter is almost religion. There's even a saying, no gold, no wedding. But this report tells that the country's love of gold may be losing its shine for their growing appetite for diamond instead.
All this gold has lost its sheen with Indian buyers who swore by the metal. It's diamonds that appeal to them now. These sons jewelers have been in the business of gold ornaments for over 3 decades. But recently, they opened a showroom to sell only high-end diamond jewelry, an indicator of robust demand for the sparkling stone, especially among wealthy Indians.
People are preferring to invest more in diamonds these days than in gold.
While global demand for gold coins and bars dropped 30%, India and China accounted for 37% of global gold consumption in the third quarter of 2012. Demand climbed 9% in India during the same period. But rising gold prices and India's weakening currency, the rupee, drove Indian investors to diamonds. Forevermark is a subsidiary of De Beers Group, the largest supplier of diamonds in the world. After tracking India's robust demand for diamonds, De Beers declared India as one of its most important markets in the world.
I think the main reasons of the change have been the interesting cultural change on how we consume jewelry. I still believe that's been the key.
More than 80% of jewelry market in India is run as family business. But many multinationals have entered the space, including one of India's largest companies, Tata Sons. The biggest market is weddings, an industry that remains strong despite any economic slowdown. Shweta Bajaj, CCTV, New Delhi.
In sports now, leading boat Massive is about to round South America's Cape Horn in the Vendée Globe Round the World race on Tuesday. Massive leads rival boat Bank Popular by about 35 nautical miles as the two head east to leave the Pacific Ocean, round the Cape, and enter the Atlantic. From there, they will move north up the South American coast before completing the remaining 7,000 nautical miles to the finish at Les Sables, Violon in France. There's a risk of icebergs, growlers in the waters around the Cape, and the waters are rough with gray skies above. Bernard Stam, aboard Chinese Pugilat, has resumed the race and is currently in 10th place, chasing Akena Verandas. Stam had to stop in the Auckland Islands and then continue to moor off New Zealand to fix various equipment on his boat. Stam broke open a bottle of champagne and wished everyone a happy New Year. Bringing up the rear of the fleet is Alessandro Di Benedetto, whose boat Team Plastic is in 13th and last place. He too was preparing to celebrate with champagne and a good meal. And finally, in tennis, Venus Williams and John Isner led the United States to a 2-1 victory over France at the Hopman Cup in Perth, Australia on Tuesday. Jo-Wilfried Tsonga gave France an early lead in the tie when he thrashed Isner in the singles 6-2, 6-2. Williams staged a dramatic comeback to level the tie after beating France's Mathilde Johansson from a set and 3-0 down. She finally ran out a 3-6, 7-5, 6-4 winner after securing the match-winning break in the 11th game of the third set. In the mixed doubles, the American pair extended their unbeaten run in the competition with a 6-7, 6-2 victory. With the scores at 1-all, the match tie-break was an equally dramatic affair, which the Americans finally won 10-8 after the French pulled the scores back from 7-5 to 7-7. With 2 wins each, Thursday's decider between the United States and Spain will see the two Group B leaders battling it out to reach Saturday's final. On that note, we end today's World News. See you again next time.